Hello guys, my name is Harshal and welcome to my YouTube channel that is Harshal's Cloud. Today we are going to learn about code commit. So the first question comes into your mind is that what is code commit? So the code commit is the similar thing like GitHub, right? So the GitHub is the very useful tool for developers. Developers can save their work, they can create code and save their work in the repository which is apparently create in the GitHub, right? So the similar thing we are doing here in the code commit. The code commit is the tool which is provided by the AWS cloud, right? And the GitHub is entirely a different it is the third party software, right? So they have been it's a different vendor and they have been providing those services. So we are doing the operations in the code commit and how we can use code commit here in the AWS. So today we are going to learn same thing, right? So the before we are going to know about code commit, you should know about the basic commands of Git, right? You need to know about how to Git is function. I'm telling you those basic commands. Okay, we are doing this demo in this video. So let's get started and I'll tell you everything. So I come here in the code command. Okay, so you can go to search box and simply you can write over here code commit and click on code commit, right? So we come here, okay, in the console of code commit. So here you can see the option that is create repository. Okay, so just click on that and we are going to create the repository. We can give it name to that repository, that is I'm giving the name that is uh, code repo. What is test code repo? Okay, so this is the repository name. You can give any name, right? So then test the code. Okay, you can give description to anything which is relevant to your concept. So you can add the tags also, but I ignore that, I avoid that. Okay, so now click on the create and the repository has been created. Okay, so now you can find here HTTPS and SSH. Right, now what we have done, we have created the repository in the code commit, right? So let us say you have a system, okay, and you want to access the repository in the code commit uh, from your system. So how is it possible? It can be possible by using HTTPS protocol and SSH protocol. So it's entirely depend on you whether you can use HTTPS or SSH. Okay, so I'm telling you both the methods so that you can find out whatever the suitable for you. Okay, so basically for me HTTPS is the best. Okay, because in SSH method you have to add so many credentials and that could be a lengthy process. So I'm telling you both the methods. So the first I'm telling you about HTTPS. So for HTTPS we need to go IAM. Okay, I click on IAM and here we need to create a user. Okay, so I click on the user, I add the user. Here you can give it the name, my Herschel Cloud, I give the name like Herschel Cloud. Okay, and then I give the access key, programmatic access, and then password, AWS management console access. I'm giving both the access. then auto generate password, that is fine, and okay, and then next, right? And then here we can create group also, but for now I'm just going forward. Okay, and here I have created a user, right? Look, it is successful. Okay, so user has been created. Okay, so user has been created, and now if I go to IAM, right, and here I click on the user tab, you can see Herschel Cloud. The user has been created here, and you can see in the user tab. So right now what we have to do, we have to create the groups, right? So go to user group and create the groups. Okay, so here I create the group that is, I create the group that is admin. Okay, so it is the admin group. Okay, and I add user, this user. Okay, and then let me check. Okay, so code commit full access I'm giving to them. Okay, so code commit full access. Right, so right now if I go to user group, there is a admin group has been created, and in the admin group you can see the Herschel Cloud. That user is the part of admin group. Okay, and admin group has the permission, admin group has the permission of code commit full access. So so the user Herschel, eventually the user Herschel Cloud gets the same access, okay, same permission. So there will be no problem at all. Okay, so everything is fantastic, excellent. So right now what we have to do, right now we need to go to user. Okay, so in user you can check out security credentials, and here in the security credential you get the SSH key and HTTPS grid credentials for AWS code commit. Okay, so first I'm telling you about HTTPS. We can access the repository in the code commit by using HTTPS protocol. So simply generate the credential. So once you have generated the credential, what I do, I go to notepad. Okay, and here I create the new, right? So the username, okay, in the notepad and the password. Okay, so password also copied and pasted over here so that I can use it later on. Okay, so perfect. So username and password both we have got it. So now close it. Okay, so in my system, if I telling you, in my system there is a desktop. In the desktop there is a DevOps, and here is the code. Okay, and here is CI/CD demo, and here is the code. The main code is index.html, right? So what we have to do, we have to, what I have to do, I have to save that index.html all the codes in code commit, in the code commit. Okay, code commit repository. So what we have to do, we are using HTTPS protocol to push these codes into the repository in code commit. So okay, so what I do, I going to the terminal, right? I got it. So here okay, the first of all I tell you go to code commit in the new terminal. Okay, here is the repository. I guess I have created, okay, so here location was different, that's why it was not showing. Okay, so now I have created that code in Ohio. Okay, so here if I click on that, okay, here is the repository, click on the repository. Okay, there is no files available in that repository. So the next we are going to push the some files into this repository. So how we can do it? Simply we need to clone. Okay, so copy that clone, right? So copy that clone, and here we have to go, right? So here is git clone, right? And username, we can put username over here. So copy, and this is paste. This is username, and the next one is the password. So copy and paste, right? So here you can read that you appear to have cloned an empty repository. So an empty repository has been created. Okay, the same repository is now you can see here. So if I do ls, right, so the same repository, trace code repo. Okay, right, if I go here, you can see test code repo, right? The same thing, the same repository we can see over here in my system. So what I do, I have to copy those things into test code repo, right? So now copy -r, app spec YAML. Okay, then test repository, right? Then copy what I have to copy, build spec, right? Then code deploy, okay, it's a cap. So code deploy also we copied here. Then index, so index also we are going to copy here. Okay, so what I'm doing, I'm just sending those files into test code repo, and same will be reflect in the code commit. So the next one is script. Okay, then sorry, here is script, right? So right, okay, so if I go to cd test repo and ls, okay, so there are, so in the test code repo there are so many files available right now. Okay, so these files, what we have to do, we need to check the git status. Okay, so if we check the git status, what it is showing, it is showing that these files are untracked files. Okay, so we need to track them. Okay, we need to add them. So use git add, right? So before you are doing these processes, you make sure that in your system git has been it has been configured in your system. Okay, you make sure that. So right now git add. Okay, if we put dot here, then all the files has been tracked. Oh sorry, that is git status, right? So all the files has been tracked, right? And then what we have to do, we need to commit that. Once we commit those files, what happen, it will be updated on GitHub, right? So we have to commit, then git commit -m, okay. Then here my first commit, right? So here you can see that the first commit, all the files has been committed, okay. So if I check here in my code commit, so I refresh it, let me check. I'm not sure whether files will be reflect here or not. So files are not reflecting here, so no worries, okay. It has not reflected because we have committed, okay, we have committed the changes. So once we commit the changes, it will be reflected on GitHub, not in the code commit. But we want that the file should be reflected in the code commit repository, right? So for that reason, what we have to do, we need to do git push, okay. So just do git push command, enter here, right? So okay, so here again we need to enter the username and password. So again we have to that copy, right, paste here, and then copy and paste. So once we have done that, okay, all the files will be reflected, in the code commit, right? So there is some internet issue, so it's not. Okay, so done, okay. So then okay, so all the files now will be reflecting on code commit. So let me check here. If you refresh the page, you can see all the files available in the repository. So yeah, okay, you can see that, okay. And the master is the default branch, okay. So whatever the files you are pushing to the code commit, okay, always the master branch will be created automatically because it's a default branch. And the other branch that you would like to add is called a feature branch, right? So you can also you can also add the feature branch. So for example, I'm telling you how to create a feature branch, okay. So the first thing is that git checkout, right? So if I do the git checkout, it is showing me that the original file is that your branch is up to date with master, okay. So we are using master branch, it is showing that, right? So if we have to create a new branch or switch to new branch, then git checkout, right, -b, then the name of the branch. The name of the branch would be anything, right? So I'm giving development, sorry, okay. So okay, so switch to new branch has been created. If I git checkout, okay, it is not showing anything, okay, but the new branch has been created and I'm showing you over here on the console. So if you click here, okay, so we need to refresh it. We have refreshed the page and we can see here. Okay, right. So that branch is not reflecting here, because why it is not reflecting? Because we have not pushed that branch to this to the code commit. Okay. So in that case, what we have to do, we have to make some changes. So vim index.html, I'm going here insert mode. I just change here, like if here is the congratulations, I congrats. Okay, I just done some changes. Okay, so we have done some changes. So that is okay. So now what we have to do, we need to check the git status. If we check the git status, there is we need to there is a modified file, right, index.html. Then in that case, what we have to do, we have to add that file index.html. Okay, so we have added that file. Then we have to git commit, right, git commit -m, then change to congrats. So perfect. Okay, so see. Okay, so commit has been this is the commit ID, and commit has been, change has been done, commit has been done. So now what we have to do, we need to push it to the repository in code commit. So how can we do? Git push, right? Then here, okay, this is the first time, so we need to use this command, because this is the new branch. There is no other branch. This is the new branch, and we need to push that branch to code commit. So in that case, we need to do we need to copy that and paste here. Okay, so now git push, okay, that's fine, right? So again, username and password we need to enter here. So that copy, right, this is paste, and then password. So copy that and paste here, right? So everything has been done. Development from origin. Okay, so everything has been done. So here, if I go, let me refresh the page first. Can you see that here is the development branch? Okay, and the same, all the files you can see over here. Okay, but if I go to the index.html, there is a slight change, right? So here is the congrats, right? But if I go to the master branch, here also you can see the index.html file. Okay, but in index.html file, you can see congratulations. There is a different header. Okay, in master branch there is a congratulations header, you can see, and in the feature branch, that is development branch, you can see congrats. Okay, it is a short form of the congratulation. The same, there is a slight change between these two branches. Okay, and the next we can do the merge. Okay, we can do the merge, we can do the pull request, we can do a lot of things, right? So just stay tuned, I'm telling you all the things what we can do over here. So okay, that's fine. Okay, now you understand that how to push the files to code commit, right? So what we have to do, we need to check everything related to the repository. Okay, so first we know that the code, right? So in the code we can see all the files. Okay, then I'm telling you about the pull request. If somebody if there is a two different branches, okay, master branch and the development branch. In the development branch, the junior developers, what they do, they make some changes, right? They make some changes, they change the code, okay, they improve the codes for the better for the betterment of the application or the website, right? So after the change has been done, after the commit has been done, so in that case, what we can do, we can create a pull request. Okay, just go and create the pull request. Okay, where we want to create the pull request in master. Okay, the destination will be masters and the source will be development. Okay, so I already told you that in those two uh, branches there is a slight difference in index.html file, right? In development there is a congrats, and in destination there is a congratulations. So once I have done the pull request, okay, so it will show me that if it is mergeable or not, right? So they will check whether it is mergeable or not. For me, I know that it is the mergeable, because what will happen if I merge development with the master branch. In that case, what happen, the congrats will be automatically written over congratulations, and we can see the changes in the master files, and the development file will be deleted automatically. Okay, so uh, let's check it out. So here I can check, I can compare. So once we have compared, see, we can see that green signal, that there are currently no conflict between development and masters. Okay, so we can do the merge. So we can do here that we can give the title. Okay, so merge to master. Okay, we can give any name, that's not a problem. Okay, so changing the header from congratulations to congrats, right? Okay, and now we can do here create pull request. So the pull request will be created. Okay, and once pull request has been created, the next step will be the merge. Okay, so we can check the pull request here. Okay, so here we can check that the congrats will be add and the congratulation will be gone. Okay, so after merging done, what happened, congratulation, that header will be gone. Okay, it will be lost, and the congrats will be on the place of congratulation. That's it. Okay, that is the change. So we are going to merge here. Okay, so there are three types of merge: fast forward merge, squash and merge, merge, then three-way merge. Okay, so we will go with the fast forward merge, then merge pull request. So we are now merging those two files. Okay, development has been merged into master. Okay, so the merge process has been done, right? So if I go to uh, code, right, if I go to code, here I can see the files. Okay, here can you see that there is no development? Okay, so development has been deleted. Okay, it has been merged into master and it is deleted because nothing new is left in the development, and there is no use of development after the merging has done. Okay, so just check the index.html, it should be congrats, right? Now the header should be congrats. You can see that, right? So the congrats, you can see congrats over the congratulation header, right? So this is the pull request. Anybody can request, anybody can send a pull request. Okay, so the senior dev will calculate, will find out that pull request, whether it should be mergeable or not, whether we can go forward and merge those this pull request or not. Okay, it's depend on their the situation, okay, and their decision. Okay, so they have to take that kind of decision. So now what we have to do, the important thing is that commit. Okay, so here also we can do commit. Okay, right. You can see that there are two commits. Okay, the first commit, the very first commit, I have written commit message, that first commit. Okay, over here on my screen. Okay, on the terminal I have done two commits. Second commit would be change to congrats. I have merged during pull request, I have merged both the files. Okay, so that time I have committed the change and I have given the message that is change to congrats. Okay, so okay, so for new branch it was changed to congrats. I had created development branch. Okay, and in while development in that branch, I had changed the congratulation into congrats. Okay, in the index.html file. So I had committed the changes, so that's why it is showing that message, right? So the same thing you can see over here, that how many times it has been committed. Okay, then compare commits. Okay, so lot of stuffs you can do here. You can see the branch. Okay, there is only one branch available right now, that is master branch. Then git tags. Okay, if you are giving the tags, that is fine. If not, that is also okay. So the very important thing here is that setting, right? So right now setting, I'm telling you, this setting tab is very important in the code commit. Why? Because in the setting we can do automate. Okay, we can do automation. We can send a notification to the relevant guys, to the developers who are working on the code or something like that. Okay, so we can send an email, we can send an SMS by using that notification, right? So here is the notification tab, you can see. Okay, so here is the notification tab. So once you go into the notification, okay, so what we need to create a notification rule. Just click on that, give the name. The name will be test test code notification. You can give any name, right? So that's fine. Okay, and then full. Okay, you can give full details. It will also show you the JSON format, and you can give the basic details. It include information provided in resource event. That's it. So either you can do either. Okay, so event that trigger notification. So when the notification will be triggered, when the notification will be triggered, when you make comments, okay, on commits. If you have done commit, then the notification will be sent to your email ID or the SMS. Okay, or on the pull request, if you have created a pull request, again notification will be sent. For approval, status change or rule override, again for this also you can send a notification. So you can simply just click on that. Okay, just check in. You can get a notification, or simply select all. Okay, so whatever you are doing with the repository, with the files in the repository, the notification will be automatically sent to the subscribers. Okay, then here if you go down, the create the target. Okay, so we need to create the target here. So go to create target. Okay, in the target, what would be the target? Target will be our SNS topic. So what is SNS topic? SNS topic is the, again, it's a tool. Okay, it's a notification tool. We need to configure SNS topic and add the mobile numbers and email ID, whatever you want to provide. Okay, and according to that, and notification will be sent to that subscriber. Okay, so we can add the subscriber to that SNS topic, and that could be the target. Okay, it will trigger to SNS topic, and SNS topic will send an notification to the subscribers. Okay, then here the code star. Okay, so it is the by default code star notification actually on in the system. So what we do, code test. Okay, so here code test notification, and this is master. I'm space. Okay, mention here. Okay, so I have created the SNS topic, right? So once I have created the SNS topic, here I get the ARN, right? ARN. So this is the ARN, right? It is created. So now what we have to do, we have to submit, right? We have submitted. So now if I go to SNS, just go to SNS. Okay, and see, okay, I have created the SNS topic here. In the setting, you can see that SNS topic, right? Where is SNS topic? Okay, this is SNS topic I have created. Okay, that is code test notification master. Okay, the same SNS topic automatically created over here. It will trigger the Amazon SNS. Okay, you can see the same topic. Okay, the name is same. Okay, and this is the ARN number, right? This is ARN. So now what we have to do, we need to add the subscribers. Okay, if we don't add the subscriber, notification will not send anywhere. Okay, will not go anywhere. So just click over here, and you can see here create subscription. Okay, simply you can go here, and if you can click over here, it could also possible. Okay, so create subscription, that is the thing. Okay, and here code test notification master that we recently created here, that is the ARN. Automatically it will be created. Then what we have to do, okay, the endpoints, the type of endpoints to subscribe. Okay, what type of endpoint we need to subscribe? Look, see, here you can use Amazon Kinesis Data Firehouse, then SQS, then Lambda, email JSON, HTTP, HTTPS, SMS. Okay, so simply you can do email ID. Okay, if you choose the email ID protocol, then in that case what we have to do, we have to do that like herschel@gmail.com. okay, so that kind of email ID you can add over here. Okay, and then what happen, you can create the subscription. Okay, you can add number of email IDs. Okay, and just create the subscription, and the OTP will be sent to your email ID, and that OTP will be provided here, so that the verification done. Okay, so after the verification has been done, the SNS topic has been completely made, and whatever the changes we do in the repository, in the files available in the repository, the notification will be directly sent to the email or your SMS, whatever you provide here, the protocol provide here. Okay, so in that case it works on. Okay, so indirectly what I'm trying to say, that the code commit, look here. Okay, the code commit triggers the SNS. Okay, SNS, that is simple notification service. Okay, so code commit, whatever the change we have done in the code commit, it will trigger to simple notification service, and the simple notification service will send a notification to the relevant guy or to the subscribers. Okay, so it is very, very simple. Okay, so that is notification, right? We go again to setting. So I go here and okay, so what I do, I am going to delete this, type delete. Okay, and here also I'm going to delete, I don't need it. Go to topic, SNS topic will be deleted, that is delete me. Okay, so SNS topic has been deleted. Okay, fine. So right now we are in the setting too. Okay, so in the setting we can also see the triggers. Okay, what is trigger? Now the notification and trigger, it works similar. Okay, but it means there is a difference between notification and trigger. Okay, but somehow they are working same. So in the notification, what we have done, in the notification, it is very simple, that it is created to notify the subscribers. Okay, it is the only thing the notification setting notification has to done. Okay, then if we go to trigger, it will trigger the next tool, right? We are doing the integration here. Triggering means what we are doing, we are doing the integration automation here. Okay, so the code commit, whatever the changes we done in the code commit, it will trigger the SNS topic. Okay, and then SNS topic send an email to the email ID or the subscribers. Okay, same thing, if we the same thing here. Okay, it happened with the SNS. Okay, the same happened with the lambda function also. Okay, if we make a changes in the code commit, what happen, the changes in code commit will trigger the lambda function, and the lambda function run the code. Okay, and according to that code, it will create the logs in CloudWatch, right? So ultimately we are doing the automation. Okay, we need a log. Okay, automatically log should be created in the where it should be created in CloudWatch. Okay, the same we are doing here, we are ultimately doing the automation here. Okay, so here if we go on trigger, okay, then we can simply write here trigger name, that is test trigger name. Okay, you can write anything, then event. Okay, so whatever you want to do. Okay, so all repository events I want to do. Okay, so any change happen to the repository, it has to trigger the SNS topic. Okay, this is my concept. Now the branch name, this is the master. Okay, it's a optional thing, so if you don't select over here, nothing will happen. Then what I have to do, I have to check in Amazon SNS. Okay, or you can do AWS Lambda, whatever you have to do. Okay, so I'm clicking over here in the SNS, then choose the topic. Okay, there is no topic at all, so I have to create the topic, right? So come here and create the topic. So here is the first in first out is not useful, it will not work for code commit. So in that case select standard. Okay, do not select first in first out, it will not work for code commit. So here you can give the name. Okay, my topic, whatever the name you want to give. Okay, my test topic. Okay, display name, that is optional, no worries. And then create the topic. Once we have created the topic, okay, the same will be reflect on trigger. So now go here and we can see, okay, it will not, we need to refresh this page. So we have refreshed the page and trigger name would be test trigger, whatever the name. Okay, then event will be all repository, and then branch name. Okay, no worries, no need to select. Okay, so Amazon SNS. Okay, right here we can see. Okay, so SNS topic we have created in SNS AWS Amazon SNS. Okay, so we can, it will be reflect here. Okay, so everything is done. Okay, create trigger. So trigger has been created, that's fine, right? So if we click on that trigger, okay, we can test the trigger. If we test the trigger, okay, so trigger has been done. It will you can now check that the message was delivered or AWS Lambda function was called. Okay, so it will trigger a Amazon SNS. Okay, and the Amazon SMS, you can create subscription to send message to them from this topic. Okay, I have not created the subscription, that's why it has not sent any message to anyone. Okay, if I have created this subscription, then in that case whatever if it triggers, okay, this will send an notification to email ID or SMS. Okay, very simple thing. So I hope that you understand this SNS topic. So here again I have to I delete it, I need to delete this, I don't need it, so that is delete me. So it is deleted, that's fine. Then here again go to setting, and in setting there is a trigger. I hope that you understand that what is the difference between notification and trigger. The very basic difference is that they both are doing the same thing, but there is a difference. Okay, trigger means they are triggering to other tool. Okay, triggering to other tool, and that tool will do further action. And in the notification, it is simply for the notification, to send an notification, right? So eventually it is also doing the same thing with SNS. Okay, so what we need to do, we need to remove that, we need to delete. So delete this notification, there is no notification, I guess. Okay, so yeah, okay, excellent, everything is fine now. So we have done pull request, then we go to the setting and we check it out, notification and trigger, how to create the SNS topic, right? So everything we have done here for code commit. So